Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's class. We're going to be talking about 1v1s. We have a lot of things we're going over today. We got why is ones important, kickoffs, boost differential, outplay potential, and then your mentality. 1v1, the best way to improve. I believe that ones is the best way to actually get good at Rocket League. I know everyone hates playing ones. It's as I see in the second bullet point. It's like eating your veggies. You don't like them, but it'll help you. The reason ones is so good to help you improve is because the only person that you have to blame if you make a mistake is yourself. Uh, you also get to touch the ball as much as possible, so everything you do well helps you out. It's the game mode for consistency. If you're consistent, you'll win. If you aren't, then you'll lose. All right, let's get into the first, and I believe the most important part of being able to get better at ones, and that's a kickoff. Kickoffs, most of the time, are the make or break of a ones game, especially if you're ranking up from from gold to about GC1, GC2. There's even some SSLs I know that can't kick off correctly. You got to be really good about being able to separate each part of the kickoff and get it going in the best way possible. Just want to make sure we have the video still there. There are a few parts to a kickoff. The first one is the spawn. The spawn, super simple. Wherever you are on a kickoff, just make sure you take a direct line to the ball and you pick up as much boost as possible. Next is the approach, and that is where you're trying to pick up as much boost as possible. You have the contact, which is the actual 50 you have on the ball. And then finally, you have the recovery. I put these parts out here because this isn't a kickoff masterclass. I will do that eventually. But I want you guys, if you're having issues with your kickoff, to go through each section that I have here. Maybe it's I'm not approaching the ball correctly. Maybe I'm just getting dunked or destroyed on the 50 when I'm making contact with the ball. Maybe I'm too slow to recover. There's a lot of things that happen where you'll sort of notice once you break it down, that kickoff in your head, you're able to realize what's going on with your kickoff. And here, I have an example of a pro kickoff. I think it does it from every angle if I remember correctly. And so as you can see, this is a pro kickoff, so they're using speed flips, which we'll get into. But this is all about a direct line to the ball. Really quickly, I want to pull up my pen just so I can describe what's going on here. There we go. So on these corners, let me just go back. On these corners, it's really all about just getting that direct line. You want to pick up this boost pad, and then you want to get to the ball. There's levels to it. Level 1, you just want to drive. So that's for people that are learning how to play the game. Level 2, you want to learn how to front flip for your approach. And then the pro, or the full version, is when you start speed flipping. All of these levels, you want to master the first one before you move on to the second one. A few things as well about the approach. You want to boost and leave about 12 in the tank for every kickoff that you do for the recovery. So when we watch this kickoff here from AJ, you'll see that he goes down to 0. Sorry, have 12 boost for when you are going in the center. Watch how he uses all of his boosts efficiently, and then through his speed flip is boosting to the kickoff. Now we have contact. Most people, when they do a kickoff, they just think on the contact, I'm just going to front flip. But watch how AJ makes contact with this ball. Look at his side flip. He's pushing the ball to one direction, and with his side flip, he's doing something that I like to call, he's really just expanding his hitbox. When you think about a 50, you think of the two hitboxes and then the ball. All of the hitboxes in Rocket League are wider than they are tall. So that means that when you think about the rectangle, this is always going to be bigger than this. So when you side flip, what happens is you turn your hitbox up, and as you can kind of see, AJ just has this plank where if he's flipping and gets the right point of contact and the right part of contact on the ball, his plank compared to Riddle's flat angle allows him to push the ball over. Does that make sense to everyone? We want to be side flipping on kickoffs on contact just so that we are able to get more of our hitbox onto it and we're able to push the ball in a certain direction. Does this all make sense?
Just because of the fact he's using a dominance, he gets a better kickoff result, essentially.
Um, yes. But
Okay, I figured.
the thing is, uh, with the Dominus, you have to play perfectly in the Dominus. And the Octane is a lot more forgiving. And there are times where if you don't do the Dominus kickoff, like I'm talking pixel, like like whatever the task, that's what it's called. If you don't do a task perfectly, you will get destroyed just because the Octane hitbox is bulkier. I recommend in ones to just use an Octane hitbox just because it's easier in terms of being more forgiving on things that you're doing. But if you'd really like to practice for, becoming a robot mechanically, you can use the Dominus. All right, any other questions before keep going? Okay, cool. And as you can see on this recovery, he is then just looking to get this boost. This race to the boost is very important. We'll get into having more boost later, but when you're on a recovery, you want two things. You want boost or you want the ball. The reason AJ is going for boost here is because he knows his opponent can't get a good angle and actually shoot the ball at the net. So he's able to get this boost and create a boost advantage for after the kickoff and when he starts playing offense. Okay, that is all of the parts of the kickoff. Any questions at all before I move on? Cool. To level up a kickoff, as we talked about, there's those three levels. Once you get to that third level, really to that GC1, GC2, SSL range, speed flipping becomes necessary. Speed flipping is just a diagonal flip cancel. If you want to learn how to speed flip, there are packs online, there are videos online. It's a very nuanced mechanic, but once you get the hang of it, it is one of the most useful mechanics you can learn in Rocket League. There are also other forms of kickoffs. There's wave dash kickoffs, there's fake kickoffs. It really depends on how comfortable you are with doing a normal kickoff. I wouldn't recommend doing these wave dash and fake kickoffs before you learn how to just do a normal kickoff. But these are other forms of kickoffs that I'm seeing pros and high level players do in their 1v1 lobbies. All right, next part, boost differential. In ones, boost is important. It is more important than ones, twos, or threes because in the end, how much you do is dependent on you and you yourself. You need to be picking up boosts so you can attack aerially, defend aerially, move around the field. With all of this, being in a boost advantage is important to be able to score. It really is the way when you were making that decision, when we have that flow chart we've talked about. You want to make sure that you have boost really high up because if you're on low boost, you can't do much. And I got my friend Skippy, the top 15 ones player in the world, to give me a nice little quote here. Having zero boost and defending a shot is harder than having 12 boost. That is a short difference. That's only 12 boost. Yes, it's a little simple of a quote, but it shows you how even 12 boost means so much. So make sure in your thought process and in your decision making, you are picking up even as many small pads as possible. All right, before we move on, any questions about boost differential?
I got a question about the kickoff.
Yo, what's up?
Where's your single jump kickoffs at? Because that's the meta right now.
Single jump kickoffs? What do you mean?
Like you dump into the ball and then wave dash after.
Yeah, that's a wave dash kickoff.
Oh, you're kind of okay. I thought you okay.
Oh, I
Come on,
understand.
Skippy, lock in.
I understand the confusion. Okay. Wave dash. Wave dash means after you hit the ball. Sorry. That is a really good distinction that I should have thought about.
I was about to say there's the wave dash and then there's the zap dash kickoff.
There's a zap dash kickoff?
Yeah, where
Yeah,
you zap dash
bro.
after you
Oh,
speed
God.
flip.
Oh god. Oh god, there's too many things. I can't keep up. But with this wave dash kickoff, don't do a wave dash before you hit the ball. That's bad. You want to be doing a speed flip, making contact like normal, but instead of flipping, you single jump into the ball and then you use your wave dash or your second flip as a recovery after you land on the ground. So, thank you for reminding me. Wave dash is after you make contact with the ball, not before. Okay. You scared me for a second. I was worried. I've never seen a zap dash kickoff. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. All right. Next up, how to outplay. This next section is kind of just thinking mentally about how you want to play ones. I think what you're going to notice from this area and from this section in the slides that you are better at ones if you use your brain. It seems, it seems like no duh, but a lot of the times things we're doing in ones, we're just going through the motions. All I'm trying to bring out with how you want to be able to outplay is just observing what you're seeing and then putting that into practice and getting it around the defender. So, for example, on offense, you need to be aware of where the opponent is. I like to think of where the opponent is just to simplify it in a verticality and then a horizontal. So just like a normal like plot graph. If the opponent is up in the air, normally you want to either go under them. If the opponent is on the ground, you want to try pushing them up. You want to make them have to do things for where they are not at. If you have someone on the left side of the field, you want to bring the ball right and create an angle to shoot the ball at them. It is really all about figuring out where they are and figuring out how much they can do. When your opponent jumps in the air, they take out so many options of what they can do, especially if they double jump. If they double jump, they're stuck. That's why when you guys are playing ones, I really want you to focus on when they jump, thinking about how much they can do. If you double jump, the only way you're moving is if you boost and, flail your car around. If you're able to get them to double jump, you create a situation where you're in full control of where they are and how you're able to do anything on them to score the goal. It's pretty simple. They're playing high, go low. And if they play on the wall, go for a fake. Faking is something that if you guys aren't doing that yet, it's very important to start learning how to do it. The 1v1 game, just in general, the meta has become a lot more ground-based, if I'm correct, Skippy.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, where people really aren't doing these, unless you're Zen or AJ, they're doing a lot more safe plays where they're keeping the possession for as long as they can. So, with all that in mind, think of ways that you can get your opponent to go up, but you stay on the ground. And that's why I love a fake or low 50. That is my favorite play in the game because it works so well. Okay, any questions on how to outplay on offense?
Or just jazer flick it and watch them soar into the sky trying to get it.
Yeah, I mean that's a way to get them up in the air. If you flick it over them and they jump, you kind of have full reign on where the ball's gonna go because they have to jump and do all that to recover. Anything else? Oh, I want to make sure I'm checking the. Is there anything in the chat as well? I forgot to check that. I think we're good. Okay, cool. Let's keep it going. All right, next up on defense. This is honestly more important than offenses. I think most people in ones, when they start playing ones, they think only about how am I going to score. A good defense is a good offense in ones because I guarantee you, if you play good defense, you will get at least 4 or 5 goals where the person overcommits upfield and into your net, and you just have a wide open net. So, to outplay on defense, you need to anticipate. What I mean by anticipate is think about what they can do and consider all of the options of where you can be on the field. Anticipate and then cover these options. It is really tough when you are getting dribbled at to figure out what they're going to do. But when we break it down, when someone's dribbling at you, there's not a lot of things that they can do. They can flick the ball. They can start an air dribble. And they can change direction. So they can go left or right. But you don't really care about that because that's not at the net. Or they can go low. So this exercise that I just did, where I go, what can someone do on ball? Okay, it's all of these things. What does it look like they're going to do? If the ball is closer to the front of their car, normally that means that they're going to go low because they want to be able to drop it down pretty easily. If they start jumping, that eliminates, well, it doesn't eliminate, but it makes going low a lot harder. If they jump, they can't change direction. They're probably just going to flick or go for an air dribble. So one of these two. What you really need to do when you were playing someone on defense in ones is think, what can they do? Think about all of the possibilities. And if you need to, think, what would I do if I was in their spot? You're a reflection of the players that you were playing. Think about what you might do and then try to cover that option. Okay. I have a video here. I'm going to have to switch to sharing my screen so you guys can actually see this. So really quickly, or you can actually hear this. So let me know. Okay, we're streaming here. So if you guys want to come over, I'm just going to start this in a few seconds. But this is the video I've made about anticipating and covering options on defense. So let's get into it.
Once Cat gets beat, you know he's going for a hook shot, and so you should just pre-jump right here, because what you're trying to do, if we look at it from his position, let's just watch this, right? Okay, where is he able to shoot? Like, as of right now, you realistically are covering, like, that area. But once he moves a little bit, so once he gets to, like, right here, if he's really good at shooting, he's only aiming for, like, with this hook shot to here. And what you can do better on the hook shot, pre-jump the angle, because you know for a fact it's going here, and you just get there earlier if you jump early and then wait for your shot and then flip after the shot. Like about right here, I would pre-jump. But I'm saying, like, if you're playing ones and you're going up against a guy who's like really, really good, pre-jump this shot. Because there's also the chance he hits a back post, and what you can do is jump up and then backflip like that. But just pre-jumping these hook shots, it's a good skill to learn, because then it's like basically impossible for them to shoot.
Okay. Any questions on that? Everyone heard that? Just so I'm aware. Any questions about that video or just defending in ones in general? Something that I say in that video is the higher up you get, you want to start pre-jumping. That's very true. Pre-jumping is really important because it is one of the ways that you can cut options off, but you want to make sure that you don't use your second jump because your flip is really important to have. Okay. Any
I
questions on
just
that?
like
What's up?
fake that, like cut that and then put it underneath you
If
if you pre-jump it.
no, because what you can do is you can jump low and then use your flip to kind of pinch 50 the
Oh
ball
yeah,
out of the
I
way.
know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why pre-jumping so good, is because it really is at some points just almost impossible to get around if you pre-jump correctly. Thank you, Skippy.
Yeah, that one was
One's cack.
that's a video.
Thank you. Thank you. All
Yeah, no
right.
problem.
Now we're going to get into the mentality part. Mentality, I'll be real. The amount of tilted ones players that you'll see throughout your ones journey, you want to have a good mentality. On ones, you want to play for improvement, not wins. Improvement means trying things that you wouldn't normally do. What I mean by that is there are two players. There's one that does the same thing over and over again and wins games and goes up like 50 MMR. And then there's a player that's trying new things. Maybe they're learning how to air dribble. Maybe they're learning how to flip reset. Maybe they're just practicing easy mechanics like pre-jumping. The person that does the same thing over and over again has a ceiling on how good they can get. The person that practices on things and really tries to improve, in the long run, they're able to do more because they're practicing the things that they're not good at. They're working on their weaknesses. A really good example of this is Kronovi. He is a player back in the day that when he was playing ones, he would do the same shot over and over again to improve. Like, he was bad at 45-degree flicks, so he would just go into games and only try scoring with 45-degree flicks. And when he got good with that, he would move on to something else. He was really, really good about noticing what he was bad at, and then after that, trying to work and really get that mechanic to the highest level that he could. I have this section right here because I think it's really important. Guys, if you stick to your game of playing on the ground and only air dribble bumping, you won't be able to practice in ones. This play style is probably 70-80% of what you're going to play in ones, where people just sit on the ground and only air dribble. It'll be good practice on defense, but if you guys play like this, you will have a ceiling to how good you can get. Obviously, you want to win. Don't play to lose. That's not what I'm saying. But if you play for improvement, you win in the long term. If you just play to win, you just do this style, then you will only win in the short term. How to improve. There's a delicate balance. You need to play with consistency. I'm not saying go for air dribble, pogo, double flip resets every time you play a ones game, because you will never win doing that.
No.
I know. Freestyling in ones isn't the greatest way to get better. But you need to be playing the game so that you actually have fun. You want to show some flair. The way I like to think about it, and it's just how my brain works, is every time someone asks me how to play in ones, I say play smooth. What I mean by smooth is you aren't making these herky-jerky motions to get into the plays that you're trying to do. What you're doing is you are guiding the ball with where it is going, and if the ball goes up the wall, go for an air dribble. If the ball is moving across the field, maybe you can get a hook shot, or maybe you can practice your dribbling by picking the ball up. Don't just try to create these situations over and over again. Play with how the play is actually going. A lot of times you can notice your gameplay is stilted if you go for the same thing over and over again. If you're seeing yourself do a lot of like parallel parking and 3-point turns to try to get into positions for your offense, normally that means that you could be doing something that makes your gameplay a little bit easier. And then finally, when you are improving, don't slow the game down. When you're controlling the ball, think about controlling it with speed and pace. Yes, getting good at ones, you can sometimes slow the game down, but don't think about ones as the end all be all. The competitive game mode is 3v3. Yes, you can make it far with ones, but the goal of every one-on-one player is to become a threes player. And there are players nowadays who get really good at ones and then can't translate it to threes because of how different of a style threes is. If you're able to control it with speed, you're able to simulate a situation where you have a defender chasing you or you have someone coming at you ready for this flick. And if you're going for aerial plays, go for them. Don't just don't just go in the air and then come back on the ground and then go for a flick or whatever. If you're going for an aerial play, go for it. It's just all about that idea of improvement. However, also practice your ground game, but remember, keep that speed going. And then finally, I just have a visual thing when you think about the short term versus the long term. You can think about this not just in ones, but how you play the game. I think it's really important to have a growth mentality when it comes to all that. But in the short term, you win a rank game. You get plus 10 MMR, and you have a good feeling for the rank game you played. Sometimes you don't even have a good feeling because you're like, wow, I played terribly and I still won, In the long term, it takes a while. I need to preface this. When you play for improvement, it's not going to be overnight, but you will see an improvement in your game, eventually a higher rank, and eventually a better feeling about mechanics in the game. You want to play for your future self, not your present self. Okay. Does everyone understand what I mean when I say playing for the long term and playing for improvement?
You're
Awesome. All right, and finally we have how to improve outside of the game. Watch pro 1v1s. Apparently there's a Zapdash kickoff. I need to watch more pro 1v1s so I can learn what that is. There are hundreds.
look at AJ replay.
I'll have to do that. There are hundreds of pro 1v1 matches recorded on YouTube and live on Twitch. A few channels that I recommend just because of how good their analysis is Fear and Johnny Boy. Literally go on YouTube, and if you like a player, search this name 1v1. So if you like Zen 1v1. If you like First Killer 1v1. If you like Skippy 1v1.
Yeah, buddy.
I don't know about that guy. He's a random.
Okay.
But like it really is that easy. The way I like to think about it is an NBA player, Joel Embiid. He didn't know how to shoot the ball correctly. So what he did is he went on YouTube and looked up white guy jump shot. And he found that people with the smoothest jump shots on YouTube was the best way to shoot the ball. And that's how he learned. We can translate that. I know it's a terrible analogy, but you can translate that to how you play Rocket League. If you want to learn something, watch someone else do it, and it'll help you craft how you're actually able to play. And then the other thing that I have outside of the game is watching your own replays. As a coach, I watch a ton of replays, but you don't have to have me there to get better with your own gameplay. A thing I like to recommend for people if they're kind of stuck on what they need to work on is watch your ones replay from the opponent's perspective. And when you watch it from the opponent's perspective, you'll see what you're doing, because if they flick the ball over you, you'll see where you were on defense and be like, oh, I would have did the same thing. It's really good to get out of that mentality of I can't do anything wrong by watching yourself from a different perspective. And in the end, always strive to get better. All right. Thank you, everyone. Any questions before we head out?
I got a question, just curious. What rank are you? Because I don't know.
Right now, I'm like GC2, GC3.
Okay.
I haven't been playing the game as much. I've been SSL for 10-ish seasons. I don't know how long, but yeah, I don't like tooting my own horn, but yeah, I've been top 100 in threes. Like I've been top 48 skip. What did I get in RLCS? I don't even remember. But
I think it was 48. Yeah.
Yeah, top 48 in RLCS. I've been there, so
Okay.
hopefully this all makes sense to you guys.
Yeah.
You got the $300 in earnings. Let's go.
Yep.
It was before that.
Yeah, it was before.
Oh no.
When it
yeah.
actually mattered. Yeah. All right. Any other questions on ones or just Rocket League in general?
Moxie is one of those ones players that I haven't really seen play threes like at all.
Yeah, his playstyle is terrible. So
Oh, I could say a lot about that guy.
yeah,
I know you could.
I personally don't like him at all, but that's just me.
I don't either.
Yeah.
It's like AZAP. I don't know if you guys know AZAP, but like that guy like lives in ones and then tries to improve in threes and then can't he like starts playing bad in ones, so he just goes back to ones.
Yeah.
Is- yeah.
What are the best ground mechanics to get better?
Down dribbling.
Yes.
Ground dribbling
Ground
flicks.
dribbling, ground dribbling, bounce dribbling, flicks, and hook shots. I would say are the 4 things you want to work on. If you can't dribble, learn how to dribble. If you can dribble, yes, wave dashes. If you just want to learn how to recover, that's also very important to learn how to do. Wave dashing is a good thing as well. I'm just thinking of offensively the mechanics you want. But yeah, I would say if you can dribble, learn how to dribble. If you can dribble, learn how to flick the ball and learn how to bounce dribble. And once you got all those down, learn how to hook shot. All right. Any other questions before we head out?
I got a question.
Yo, what's up?
So I'm stuck in gold right now, but like I can like speed flip and like flick and do all that stuff. I don't know how to like start ranking up.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things. The default answer I give people is just play more and you'll go up in rank. Just because if you can speed flip and you're in gold, then that probably means that you just need to play more to get out. But you might want to look at your own gameplay and figure out normally what I would say if you're having issues trying to get out of your rank is look at your defense. Are you getting scored on like 12 times a game? That normally
No,
means...
I'm getting scored like twice a game, but I just can't like they just defend everything I have.
Yeah, then that might mean that you might want to stop going all in for some plays if they're really good at defending. Just throw a ton of shots at them and stay back, and if you're able to recover well, then you'll eventually be able to push it past them. But it really comes down to just consistency. Again, as I said at the beginning, ones is a game full of consistency, so you want to be good about when you're playing, trying to do as much as you can. I hope that helps.
Okay. Thank you.
Dude,
Of course.
I'm champ and I can't speed flip. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Rocket League, everyone is in their own spot. And so it can, for some people, it could be mentally getting better. For some people, it could be mechanically getting better. It's really just not a one size fits all kind of thing. But,
Yeah.
Just keep playing and you'll improve for sure. All right. Anything else before we head out?
One other thing.
Yeah.
Anybody have or watch a good Moxie flick video? Because I'm trying to get consistent with those.
From what I understand, a Moxie flick is just like
It's a 45, but
45.
with a little bit of arrow, but you have to do it a certain way. And that certain way is what's fucking me over.
Yeah, I would say that is just to find a Moxie flick tutorial on YouTube. I don't know of any I've seen.
Reasonable.
I think Waiton made a 45-degree flick video like 2-ish years ago.
Okay.
And I think it covers Moxie flick a little.
Okay, then yeah, Waiton Pickman would be what you'd want to look at for that then. Or Pilkin, I think is I don't know what his last name is. I feel bad for
Pelican.
Pilkin, that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Alright.
that would probably be where you want to go.
Here. See it.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. Again, as I said, I will edit this and upload it to YouTube later tonight. So if you want to rewatch that, I will post the link in the class updates section. I don't have any class topics for next week. If you have a topic you want me to create a slideshow for, please just DM me. You want me to do threes? Yeah, I can do threes. Do you just want ranked threes?
Preferably.
Yeah, I can. I have a class I can set up for that. Rumble, I'm probably not the authority on Rumble. I'm not gonna. I would go to someone else for Rumble. If you really.
What about Snow Day?
I got you on Snow Day.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm not gonna do any extra modes. I mostly focus on the 1s, 2s, and 3s. But I bet you could find something on YouTube and you'll figure it out. All right. Well, if you don't have anything, we have a community forum section. If you think of something throughout the week, please just throw it in there. Or if you need to DM me, just DM me and I'll take a look at it. But if you guys have nothing else, then that's all I got.
All right.
All right. I'll see y'all later.
All
See ya.
peace, thank you.
See ya.
Peace.